I went on Omegle today and, well, yesterday and today, trying to find someone to argue with, and I found a really, really good discussion in which she actually gets to admit that I changed her mind on abortion, and I'm really, really excited about this. Here's the video. Remember to like and subscribe.
Oh, we're timing how long it takes us to get
Hello.
back.
How's it going?
Good.
Do you like Trump?
Not necessarily.
Oh, yeah? You have him on here so you can find someone to argue with?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Do you
hey,
like Trump?
I'm your guy. Yeah, I love Trump. Asterisk.
Okay, so-
Asterisk. He's a little bit of an asshole sometimes, but that's okay.
Yeah, you know, we all are.
That's fair. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, argue with
Are
me.
you a homophobe?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, usually, it comes, people support Trump, but then it's, a package deal with, homophobia, racism, and a little bit of pro-life.
A little bit of what? What was that last word?
Pro-life?
Crowley.
Anti-abortion.
Anti-abortion.
Oh, I've never heard that word. Is that like CROLETTE?
No, P.
It's pro-life.
Pro-life. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I
Ole.
heard. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I am totally pro-life. I think that abortion should be totally illegal in every instance except for rape and medically necessary when the woman's life is in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can agree with that. That shouldn't be taken off the table.
I don't fully agree with it, but, I understand where you're coming from.
So I guess I'm your person to argue with. So what do you want to argue about? We're gonna have a
Well, you're a
productive
lot more
argument.
respectful.
Yeah,
Respected.
Well, no, it's okay. I'll be respectful. I'm curious what your thoughts are. What I guess you must think that I'm wrong about something. So what do you think that I'm wrong about? And then maybe I'll defend myself. How
I
about that?
just don't think that supporting a man who is, exceptionally racist and open about it, also
With
a
allegations.
rapist with allegations.
So
I just don't think he's the guy.
okay. So first off, do you think that innocent until proven guilty is? Do you think that it should be innocent until proven guilty or guilty until proven innocent?
Guilty until proven innocent.
Guilty until proven innocent. Really?
Yeah, you
I
always
think-
believe the victim.
I think
Yeah.
that statement itself is debatable. Because the allegation, you may take with a grain of salt, 50-50.
Yeah.
But when it stacks up to multiple allegations,
Yeah.
7 or 8, then you want to start kind of
Well,
questioning.
Yeah.
By the same token, someone could say, "Oh, this person said something, so maybe I'll just jump on the bandwagon because then people will believe me too. I'll get some sort of settlement. Donald Trump's a rich man."
I guess when it comes to that as well, you would kind of question the type of person it is, who's making the allegation. You would kind of. It's kind of complex.
Well, that's fair because it's kind of the same argument back and forth, but I think it's important to consider someone innocent until proven guilty, and we can disagree on that. But what about Brett Kavanaugh?
I don't know who that is.
So he was the Supreme Justice Court judge that was accused of sexual assault and rape, and then it got thrown out of court because the people who accused him had A, no evidence, B, no time, C, no place, D, no motive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it all just fell apart, but his life got dragged through the mud, and now anyone who's you see the videos of BLM protests or whatever, you ask any of them, "Oh, how do you feel about Brett Kavanaugh?" They say he's a racist, or rapist, sorry.
I would so have an argument for that, but I have no idea as to who he is.
You should look into it because it's a really interesting case because he wasn't proven innocent, but he wasn't proven guilty because there was no evidence. So it's probably someone that you might think, "Oh yeah, he's definitely a rapist." I don't think he's a rapist because they couldn't prove anything, and then it just fell, it just went away because
Was it multiple allegations or just the one?
It was multiples. Yep.
Oh, well,
It was a main one. A couple people jumped on and then fell off.
oh yeah.
So back to Trump being a racist. That's kind of why we're here. Why do you think Trump's a racist?
Because he wanted to, the whole thing about building the wall and.
Well,
don't.
don't be mad at me. I'm gonna give you one of those conservative talking points. So, do you lock your door when you're in your house?
No.
Your door isn't locked there in your house?
No.
Funnily enough, our door is not locked.
That's fine. But would
Yeah.
you want someone just walking through it? Why is it even closed? Why is it there?
But right, so what I was thinking about
Keep
that,
the cold out.
Keep the cold outside. Keep the
Keep
warm
the cold
inside.
outside. Are you guys in Canada or something?
Minions are getting in and out.
no, but about that whole like wall, I'm not like I don't learn much about Trump and his politics or whatever. But wouldn't building a wall just keep those whatever the Mexicans who are sneaking into America? Would that not just keep the Mexicans that are in there in there?
Not necessarily in there. It just means that they can't come north to the United States illegally. So we have a lot of social.
But what about the
programs.
ones that already are
There's
in
nothing wrong-
America?
Well, if you have your visa and everything, you should stay. But the thing is our population is 350 million, and we bring in about 1 million immigrants per year,
Yeah.
and that's more than any other country in the world that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is I don't even know what the number is, but there's a huge, I mean, roughly probably that amount or maybe even more of people who are coming across the border illegally, and those people go and work for people under the table, don't pay taxes, but they're using the roads, they're using the police services and all this, that, and the other. And the thing is if you can come to America and qualify to be a citizen, right, your background checks out, you pass the test for known American history, why wouldn't you just go through the legal means of doing it?
No, but what I'm saying is the people who are in America illegally would just get stuck in America, you know?
No, they could go right to the
Like,
border
it would
and
stop
then
more
just go
from coming
back.
in, but it would stop them from coming out.
Well, no, so I mean, it's not just a blanket wall with no doors or anything. There's
Yeah.
border ports where people can come through and apply to be an American citizen. But so one of my friends is actually an illegal immigrant, funny enough.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't stop. Like anybody here can just go back through the border the other way. I mean, you just go down there and say, "Hey, I'm an illegal immigrant. I'm just going back to my country." They say, "Cool, bye."
Would you not get in trouble for that?
Why
Well,
would
they're
you
not
get in
going to
trouble?
they're not going to get mad at you for doing technically the right thing. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're kind of outing yourself for doing the wrong thing.
Well, it's,
But when it comes to being an immigrant, like certain things are excused. Like certain things, like things are very different when it comes to being an immigrant. Like when it comes to like kind of third world countries or anything like that, like you'll see the rules are very different, and they're cut a lot of slack, which is the way it should be. But they're not going to get mad at you because like you decided that you're going to stop doing the wrong thing, technically the wrong thing, like legally the wrong thing. They're not going to get mad at you for
yeah, they're not gonna,
Yeah. They're not gonna-
we the United States, we're not going to say, "Oh, you can't go back to your country. You have to come with us and go to a jail where we're going to spend tax dollars for you to live." Like, no way.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The problem just solved itself if you were there to stop it.
So, I mean, it sounds like maybe, I don't know, do you think the wall is not so bad of an idea then, or? Because it's
I don't
not
know, I'm
about
not-
keeping people out. It's about regulating who comes here and making sure that they're pitching into the bucket that they're taking out of too, right? So, and
But
go ahead.
if I were to be thinking of that whole wall situation, I'd have to be looking at the pros and the cons. Because you're just telling me the pros, but there's got to be cons too.
There are some cons, and a lot of those were created by Joe Biden, right? So people,
Yeah.
there's holes in the wall, right? And I don't mean to be just a stereotypical talking point conservative, right? But there's holes in the wall that because the wall wasn't finished. So people will trek through the hottest parts of Mexico to get to these parts of the wall, and then they'll just drop kids on the other side, or even climb the wall and drop the kids over the wall, in which case they get hurt and they get their leg broken. And by the way, the American taxpayer foots that bill. We pay for those people to get their health care, and
Yeah.
then we send them back. But it's tough because how do we find that person's family?
Yeah, true.
How do we find that person resources? We're just dropping a 5-year-old off in some Mexican city. I'm sure there's a resource down there, but that's a terrible thing.
Yeah, true.
And sex trafficking is just monumental at the border right now, especially of kids.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Yeah, kids
Oh my God.
both directions. People will buy Mexican children, and they just get dropped over the wall, and they say, hey, pick up this kid at this part of the wall. And they just climb the wall, drop the kid over, and then their job's done. And so that's why. So those are huge cons to me, which would go away if the wall was all the way built and had better patrol.
Right. I
So
think you may have just turned me into a Trump supporter.
For real?
Oh, by the way, I'd like to ask why choose Trump over kind of other presidents?
I don't
And,
choose Trump over everybody. I think Mike Pence would be a great president, especially considering he's over 20 years younger than Trump. And what's going on with Biden, I don't want to see the same thing happen to Trump. So I think Trump is a lot better. I didn't vote for him in the first place, to be totally clear. I didn't vote for either of them. I didn't want Hillary, and I was afraid of Trump. Because he wasn't, he was just some dude, you know? But then,
So would you support him because he's the best option, not because he's a fantastic human being or anything?
well, I don't think he's a fantastic human being, but running the greatest world power kind of requires, I mean, you can't be the best person in the world and say, yeah, we need to bomb Ukraine or bomb Russia because Ukraine is being invaded, right? I mean, we're kind of the world police, right?
Yeah, in a sense.
So I would vote for Trump because he's a better option than somebody. That's not to say that I don't think that Trump is a better option than almost everybody. I'm worried that this next election is going to come down to Trump and Hillary again. And people are going to think, oh, Hillary's been running, let's give her a chance. But it's like, Hillary's she's been in the game for way too long. She needs to go away.
Didn't Trump get impeached?
Nope. Well, I guess technically, but he wasn't removed from office because it wasn't upheld. I don't know the whole process for that.
Oh, okay.
Also, I'd like to ask,
Yeah.
so you know the stereotype that like Trump supporters would be very anti-vax, anti-mask, and everything like that, and also like possibly racist. Now, I know that's just a stereotype, but like, where would you anti-vax and stuff?
So sorry, you cut out. You're asking me where would I fall in for anti-vax, anti-masks, and
Yes.
Okay. What was the last thing? There was one thing at the very end. Oh, and a little bit racist. Well, we can go over that in a second. We'll focus on the mask and so I'm not anti-mask or anti-vaccine. I think that it's great that it's available. I am anti-mandate. So I am anti someone putting a gun to my head and saying you have to take this vaccine.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so you appreciate the choice. Or you appreciate that choice.
Absolutely, I appreciate the choice.
Okay, but then what about that whole abortion argument you made?
So that's funny. Being forced to take something. So remember how I said I'm okay with abortion in the instance of rape. To be clear, I don't think that it is the right thing to do to kill a baby that was created as a result of rape. I think rape is evil and murder is evil as well. More so evil. However,
But it's like my body, my choice.
well, yeah,
When it's a vaccine.
I'll get to that. I'm a convoluted individual. But carrying a rape baby is, I mean, that's a special kind of hell, and I can understand that. And I mean, I don't think that I would be able to do that. I think I might consider suicide over that, right? So I understand, and that given that's like what 2% of abortions, so that's why okay, cool, leave that one alone. That being said, my perspective is that when you consent to sex, you consent to some of the ramifications from that, right? You can't consensually have sex with someone who says they have an STD and then sue them because they gave you that STD, right? So how are you going to consent? Okay, yeah, I want to have sex with you, one night stand, in a relationship for 5 years, whatever, and then we end up pregnant, right? So I think that you have actively consented to the concept that there's a risk of pregnancy by consenting to sex itself. So you're actively consenting to that, but you're not actively consenting to getting. So it's not necessarily my body, my choice for the abortion. It's the baby's body, the baby's choice, and you can't take that away from them because they can't tell you what that choice is.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean exactly?
It does. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Took a minute to process, but it makes sense.
It's okay. Well, you said exactly. I'm wondering. I mean, were you like exactly like it's not a human because it can't talk? Was that like what you meant?
I mean, if you don't want a baby, would it not just be a better idea? Because like, if like.
So, ask your question in just a second. I want to ask you real fast. So, is killing wrong? Killing of anything, right? Whether it's a dandelion, right? If you step on a dandelion and it dies, whatever, because that life matters a little less. But maybe killing a puppy, killing a dandelion for no reason, right? Things like that. Like you consider, like, should I pick this flower or should I let it live so other people can see it, right? So
Yes.
you agree that killing is wrong pretty much just across the board, right?
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah, to an extent, I would also agree with that.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead, ask your question. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Oh, I'm not forgetting my train of thought. Ooh.
I don't like your train of thought.
Bro.
He's like, don't look at me. I didn't have your train of thought.
Where was I?
I think you were saying
I put the
you were
valid
saying
argument
something
as well.
about you were saying something about if you don't want the baby.
Oh yeah, like, oh yeah. So me, I am a child. Imagine now I'm 17 years of age. You know,
Okay.
the legal age of consent.
Not
I
in
go
America.
out,
We're
have
18
sex
here,
with
but
someone with full consent. Go out, have sex with someone, full consent.
okay.
Find out, oopsie, I'm pregnant. Should I, like, get an abortion? Because if I get this abortion, you know, it's better for me. And in the long run, it's better for the child because having a mother, having probably no father, like, being a 17-year-old, you can't, like, raise a child properly. You don't have a job. You're not even finished school.
So
Like,
here's the alternative to that. So we agree that killing is wrong. So if there was an alternative that meant you didn't have to take care of that baby, then realistically abortion just kind of goes out the window, right?
I would also disagree with that because you can see in like the foster system is
So fucked.
it's kind of not as great
So
as it is on paper.
So the foster, no, you're right. You're right. The foster system is pretty up. But the foster system is messed up in the regard that kids end up in the foster system and they end up there being disabled or being 16, 17 years old. Kids who are 3, 5, 6 years old and younger, infants, they're gone instantly. There's a 2-year waiting list for any healthy infant. So any newborn I'm to be totally honest with you, I'm on that list. Me and my girlfriend are, and we have a 2-year wait.
oh.
Wow.
Bringing me 1 second.
So imagine maybe I take this a little personal that people are out there killing babies that could otherwise be my son, who I have a Mustang that I built over the last few years, and when he gets older, I want to build a Mustang with him, right? But I can't do that until I have a son.
Wow, I'm gonna do. What does Abby need?
Abby wants you to look for her bag.
Oh yeah, it's just like it. I'll get it for her.
He says it's on the couch.
I'm actually losing my train of thought again. Where were we?
That's okay. No, it was we're talking about how the foster care system is messed up, but there's a 2-year waiting list for adoption. So,
Oh yeah, for your baby.
Yeah. Which is somewhere out there, right? There's some kid out there at some point that will be my son or daughter, or both. I'm hoping to get 2 or 3 actually, so I can just
So,
kinda
like-
all at once, get a whole family going. But
So, like, to an extent, what you're saying is there shouldn't be abortion because other people want babies.
there shouldn't be abortion because there's an option to not kill the child.
Yeah, but it's not like obviously having a live child, like a baby, is hard,
That's
but
fair.
like birthing the baby is super hard, and carrying the baby for 9 months is also super hard, and it's really scary. Like a child wouldn't want that. Like if
I agree, but
in the
to be
sense, like,
totally clear, children should not have sex. If you're a child, you should not be having sex. If you consider yourself a child, it doesn't matter if you're able to consent. You should not be having sex.
yeah, but that's your opinion.
My
Like there's
opinion? Is your opinion
Yeah, like-
different?
no, it's not that my opinion's different. It's like
You should
well-
be really careful because you don't want to say here that children should be having sex.
no, I'm not saying children. I mean like when you're of the age to give consent. Like I'm not saying 10-year-olds should go out.
There's
You know-
countries in the world where people can consent to sex because they're married, and you can get married as young as 10.
Mm.
Yeah.
I know, but yeah, that's not a good one.
What
But
country,
I mean, like-
what country are you in, by the way? Just curious.
Ireland.
Oh, Ireland. Cool. I don't think I've ever talked to anybody from Ireland. I'm from America, obviously. I'm sure you.
Yeah, I presume.
That's okay. That's okay. But yeah, so I mean, I feel like, to kind of like wrap this up, I feel like if there's an option to not kill a child, I mean, we both agree that killing is wrong, whether we're talking about ripping a dandelion out of the ground for no reason, right? But so it seems like we disagree on the consent for sex and what that comes with.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do you think that the consent for sex is... I mean, do you think the consent for sex is not consent for the risk of an STD, having a child, etc.?
I suppose it is. Like,
Wow.
it is.
Wow, this is a productive
There you have it.
conversation.
You persuaded me.
Did I really, or are you just doing that to shut me up?
No, like, I'm being dead serious. I never thought of it, like, that deep before.
Well, I appreciate you. Dude, that makes me so happy. Because, like, I know that there's a lot of, like, you see, like, the pro-lifers that are holding up the signs, and they have the, the pictures of dead babies in a, in a petri dish and this, that, and the other, and I try not to be that person. So, wow, I'm really glad that did I change your mind? Maybe a little bit? Leave you with something to think about?
Yeah,
Good. Awesome.
for sure.
Like, politics scare me.
A little bit.
They scare me too. Well, and people get really passionate about it, and they just start yelling, and nothing happens. Nothing
That's
changes.
probably why it's so scary, because I'm not educated on it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither am I.
Well, yeah. I mean, the education's out there. It's
The
just hard
kid.
because it's like the minute you
Yeah.
start thinking like, okay, well, let me look at some pro-life stuff. Let me just see that perspective. Then all of a sudden you get these pro-gun stuff, and then you're like, well, I wasn't ready for this, and then it's pro-Trump stuff, and you're like, okay, hold on, I'm just looking at this,
Like,
Well, I'm
How do you
glad.
feel about pro-gun?
I'm sorry.
How do you feel about pro-gun stuff?
Oh, I'm super pro-gun. I have an AR-15 right here.
Wow.
damn.
Do you?
that's
Oh,
kinda cool.
so do you guys have? It's cool. You said.
Mhm.
So do you guys have? Do you guys have guns in Ireland? Are you
No.
allowed?
No, we're not allowed.
Really?
I've held a gun once in my life.
So here, I know what like a common misconception is. I'm gonna ask you what's the most dangerous gun in the world?
I have no idea.
Bazooka.
I know. I would
bazooka.
say it's a pistol because it's so small.
It's a what?
Oh,
I would say it's probably a pistol because it's quite small.
You're onto something there, dude, that I can't see. So everybody's answer is usually the AR-15. because like, oh, it's an assault rifle. There's assault rifles in our schools, right?
You run out of bullets really fast.
They are. So I have a few bullets here because I actually was talking to someone about this the other day. So this is a pistol bullet. This is called a 9mm. This is like your standard, right? Your standard like police gun, right? I have a Glock that shoots it. That's why I have it. This is what's called a 5.56. This is what a conventional AR-15 will shoot. And then this one has a green tip on it to notify that it has a steel core. So this is armor piercing as well. So now you guys know, like, here, I'll show you one. So this is your like standard deer rifle, right?
Yeah.
Just normal deer
Wait,
rifle.
what do you use your guns for?
Honestly, I just go out to the desert and shoot trash. Just find
I
old
think that's
TVs
what
and
guns
shoot
should
them.
be for. I think they're a fun experience.
They're fun. They are. I also think they should be for self-defense. But so you remember that deer rifle? You would think, okay, that's just going to be enough to kill a deer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so this
I
is
wouldn't
this is the
necessarily
bullet
think
for the
so.
deer rifle.
Oh, that is quite big.
Compared to the, let's see. Sorry, it's hard to like hold these, but
Jeez.
yeah. So that's the difference. So this one, you can see the difference in diameter. This one has about 3 times the gunpowder in it. And the projectile itself is about 3 times the size. Given this one doesn't have a steel core, but you can get those. So
What's the difference?
one difference is that you cannot buy this at Walmart because it's too dangerous. You can buy this at Walmart though.
You can buy bullets at Walmart?
So you can buy this at Walmart. You cannot buy this or this at Walmart.
Because they have steel.
They're more
core.
dangerous, says the news.
Would it be because smaller stuff is kind of harder to remove?
Not necessarily. I would bet. So the reason Walmart's are like grocery store, right? We have
Superstores.
others, but I'm sure you know. Do you know what Walmart is, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know if you guys have it in Ireland, so I try to be cultural.
No, we
We
don't
don't.
know, but it's okay.
Cool. So they don't sell these in Walmart, and they don't let you carry a gun in Walmart. So you can carry a gun open or concealed. Like I can put a gun under my clothes and hide it, but I can't carry a gun open in Walmart, or they'll kick me out because there was a shooting at Walmart.
Wow.
And they were like, no, you guys can't do this here. And it's like, okay, but if I hide my AR-15 underneath my clothes, then technically I could, even though this is a fairly large gun.
Yeah.
That is a fairly large
This is a
gun.
really small AR-15. This is the smallest barrel that you can get. So it's a 10.5 inch. But yeah, it's kind of funny. So, I mean, does that maybe like surprise you guys? Like that.
How guns are
This-
socially acceptable because they are completely alien over here. If you
Yeah.
hear that someone has a gun, like you'd be scared.
You guys, I meet so many people on here and talk about gun stuff because I love guns. Funny enough, here's my pen holder. It's just bullets in a glass,
Ooh.
which I don't know. It's kind of cool. You know, people do the coffee beans, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's so funny that people are so taboo with guns, and I meet so many people on here, and it's just like, I wish you could come here. We'll go out to the desert in my '84 Dodge, and we'll just go shoot some stuff. Like I have, and it's funny because I love taking people shooting, but I've only gotten to take my friend's parents. I took them shooting for their first time ever because they're like super liberal, anti-gun, but then all the COVID stuff happened. They were like,
Yeah.
I still need to defend myself though.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah.
In Ireland, we're not allowed to use like any sort of weapon for self-defense. We're only allowed to use reasonable force.
I think
Or, like-
reasonable force is killing someone if they're trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a radical view, but I mean, if it's my life or someone else, it sure as hell is going to be mine.
I think reasonable force is pretty okay, but I think guns are still scary.
Guns
They
are scary.
They are. Do you guys have like passports or something? Could you fly to the United States? I would, dude. If you can come to Utah, SLC is my airport code. I 100%. We can all go shooting. Literally,
Are
no question.
some states bigger for guns than others?
Yeah, I mean, it's every state is kind of different. Like California really hates guns. Washington hates guns. I'm from Washington, but I live in Utah now. Utah and Texas are very pro-gun. In fact, here in Utah, you can concealed carry without a permit. Like you can literally just go buy a gun, put it in your pocket, and nobody would know.
Wait, so you have to be 21 to buy a gun?
You have to be 18 to buy a gun, 21 to buy a pistol.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that. I'll tell you the reason, because it'll probably surprise you, and I'm having fun surprising you guys. The reason that that you have to be 21 to buy a gun is because the number one cause of death people kill themselves with pistols quite often because it's really easy to point it at yourself, unlike a shotgun or something. That's much longer. Funny enough, it's like 70% white males kill themselves. Like, not 70% white males. 70% of suicides are white males killing themselves with pistols.
70%?
That's a pretty large percentage.
It is.
Is that that's in America?
In America, yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a little bit lower because there's less guns out. There's more guns here than there are people.
For real?
Yeah, there's about 400 million guns in the United States, 350 million people in the United States.
How many guns do you have?
I won't tell you how many, but I would need more than one hand to count them.
Whoa. Really?
That's
Yep.
a bit frightening.
Are they expensive?
Yes.
They're really expensive.
Like how much? Like 1,000 or like 100?
So some of my guns are collectors. So I have a shotgun that's from World War II, and it has a special feature that it's called slam fire. So you know how like on a shotgun you go click, click, boom, click, click, boom. So with this gun you hold the trigger and you go click, and then when you pull it forward it just shoots. So you go boom, 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 boom. So it's called slam fire. It's for trench fighting.
What type of shotgun is it, if you don't mind me asking?
A Winchester Model 12.
Oh.
I have no idea what that means.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's in one of the Call of Duty games.
Sounds menacing.
So there's only about 5 models of shotguns that slam fire. I saw this one in a pawn shop for $400, and I was like, I'll take it. They were like, do you want to have me take it apart, show you? I was like, nope. You don't know what you have. I'll pay the $400, no problem. I'll fix anything it needs. So it's probably worth about $1,200.
12.
And it's honestly a pretty terrible gun.
You can buy a car with that.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So
My mom's car costs 200.
200.
200.
200 euro.
200 euro off Dundee.
That's nice.
So much.
Your guys' cars are so much different. You guys have like little tiny cars.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my cars is a Lincoln Town Car, and it is 220 inches long.
Wait.
What do you guys measure things in centimeters?
Centimeters, yes.
Let me see how long that is in centimeters.
I was trying to do the math in my head, but I'm not good at math.
Yeah.
220.
No, not
What's that in feet, roughly? 220 inches.
18 and a half feet.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Like two.
That's
like
6
two
feet.
brushes.
roughly 3 of me.
Wait.
Yeah,
As
so if
in
you're about 6 feet tall or a little more, yeah, 3 of you.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
it
a little
can
bit.
you can have 6 people that are 6 feet tall seat belted at once in it.
What?
Yeah.
Damn. What do you work as?
I work in finance.
Oh.
It sounds like there's good money in finance.
There is. I won't tell you where I specifically work, but I work in a field that COVID has made more business for. So I have good job security. In fact, this is my house that I live in, and I bought it right at the beginning of the pandemic. So
Wow.
I got really lucky.
Oh. My dad's here.
Cool.
Okay,
Well, it was good
well-
talking to you. I'm glad I could at least change your
You
mind a
too.
little
It was
bit.
great.
Yeah, it was a lovely conversation.
Hey, you guys have a great day.
You
Okay,
too.
enjoy your day.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.